So before you start watching this video, go in the description. I'm gonna nod my head down. Go in the description. That's where the showcase of this thing is, and I spent way too much time on it to just get copyright claimed, and I had to unlist it. So go down there, watch that first, and then come back here, and then watch this video, okay? You did that? Look into my eyes. Tell me you did. Did you? Did you? Did you? Okay, I'm gonna say you did. So this is the Mapulator128. This was originally built on Synergy, but I made a single player world because I knew you'd all be asking for a world download. So the world download is going to be on my Discord server, pinned in the announcements channel. As always, I might make a new map download channel on my Discord since I have a couple now. So when you get in this world, you're gonna spawn in this deep dark room with this redstone fancy floor on the bottom, this button panel, and then these two buttons over here. And the first thing you probably want to do is not push the buttons. You want to go in the shulker box and you want to look at this. Oh boy, look at these things. We got the Mapulator by me. We have a welcome book and the Mapulator itself. So let's just read the welcome book and see what it says. So the Mapulator128 is a calculator that uses a 128 by 128 map as its display, hence the name. To use it, simply grab the Mapulator out of the shulker box and hold it in your hand. You'll see the function of each button, and the numbers you type will be displayed across the top. So that's just basically what it does. And then these are the specific features. We have addition / subtraction from 0 to 9999. Cannot do negative numbers. And then numbers will be carried over when typed. So let's say you type in a 4 and then a 2. The 4 will be in the ones place, and then when you type in a second number, it will be immediately carried over to the tens place. And this thing's also can infinitely add and subtract numbers at 2 values at a time. And there's obviously a clear button, obviously. And this is the one calculator where the clear button actually works, because my other two calculators didn't work very well. Next page. Unlike my other two calculators, this one doesn't even use binary. Well, neither did the other two, but this one only uses signal strength logic. Wow, so fancy. Special thanks to Pikachu for helping me figure out the subtractor. Enjoy. And then my name, which is not here, but it's the name of the book. So yeah, so here is the Mapulator. Now there is a 5 here. I should probably clear that. That was from a previous recording, so there we go. Boom, the clear button works, just like I said earlier. Now there's no more 5. So let's just see how this works. In the showcase that I already showed addition, so I'm gonna just do the same numbers but subtract them. So we're gonna do 420 minus 69, which should give an answer of 351. So let's just type in 4, and then 2, and then 0. And that's basically the fastest you can type the numbers. You just have to wait for the button to pop out again. And if we look over here, boom, we get our 4, our 2, and our 0. And that's what I mean when the numbers carry over. They'll just move from the right to the left as you add more digits. So 420, and then we go minus, and then the 420 is going to disappear. When it starts disappearing, then you can start typing in your next number, 6, and 9. And then let's just look here and see our beautiful number 69. Look at that. And there we go. And then we just press the equal sign, and then we'll get our answers. So the 69 is going to disappear, and we're going to get our number of 351. And there we go. So what if you want to add to that? Well, if you just press the plus sign or the minus sign, whatever you want to do. So if we just do, I don't know, we just do plus and then something. What should we do? Let's do, I don't know, something easy. We'll just do 10, so it's going to become 361 instead of 351, so that's our 1. So we'll just wait for this to load. Actually, wait, I forgot you can type the numbers fast. So there's our 1, and then there's our 0, so we should have 351 plus 10. Really easy, you should be able to do that in your head. We press the equal sign. Let's see if this calculator can do it in its redstone brain. So there we go, the 10 disappears, and we get our answer of 361. And another cool thing about this is if you just press the equal sign again, we will get 361, this answer, plus the previous number. So we should get 361 plus 10, so we should get an answer of 371. So you can technically stack up numbers. So now if we just push this button again, we should probably get 371 plus 361, which is going to be a pretty big number. So let's just push it and see what we get. Do-do-do-do. 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 There we go, and we get an answer of 732. You can check on your own calculators. It's kind of a cool thing that the equal sign can do. It also works with subtraction, but with subtraction you can get into negatives, which this thing does not do negatives because, yeah, this thing doesn't do negatives. And we clear it, and boom, it's all gone, just like that. Look at that, so cool. So, how the heck does this thing work? Like, honestly, crafty, smelly ham, how does this work? Well, we have our whoosh, 2 buttons over here. This yellow one takes us up, and we get to see the entire map. Wow, look how pretty it is, and yeah, that's basically all it is. You just spawn in this box full of barrier blocks, then we can go back, and then we have this red one, which spawns you outside and gives you night vision, which I'm going to take away. I don't know why I did that. There, okay, no more night vision. So this, okay, my spacebar's not working. This is all the redstone. There's a lot going on, and I'm gonna try and explain it as fast as possible. Okay, so we're gonna start with the displays. If we just run over here, it's pretty obvious from the blue and the way it's spread, we are using water buckets and dispensers, and we are using glass to block off the water because glass can't be seen on a map. We just see this giant gray slab. So it looks really clean and really nice. You could technically use lava, but the display will have to be a lot smaller since lava can only flow 3 blocks instead of 8 blocks. So that's basically the display. It's pretty simple. And the next thing is the display decoder, which is this giant pink spaghetti monster thing. This is probably the easiest part of the entire thing. So let's just say we push this button over here. That will activate 2 segments, so that's the number 1, as you can see. And basically how it works, it'll just go up this torch tower and then through this giant repeater line, and it will activate segments based off if there's redstone underneath it or no redstone underneath it. So these kind of decoders have been used for years and years. They're really old and they're really simple to figure out. You just want to put a redstone underneath if you want that segment to be activated, or you just don't. And yeah, that's it. That's all you have to do. And then we just push the button again to deactivate it, and boom, and then no more water particles. The next thing we have is the selector, which was probably not the hardest part, but definitely the most annoying. As you can see, it's really, really messy looking. So basically over here, we just have a normal RS NOR latch, except it is very expanded because we had to make a few timing things, and that just basically selects the number that will be chosen over here. But the way we select the number is based off signal strength. So this circuit over here with the little 2 pieces of redstone and the repeater, if we just go over here, this repeater and this torch, this is a red coder, and it will take a signal strength and it will turn it into an output. So if there's a signal strength of 1, this observer will retract. Signal strength of 2, the second one will retract. Signal strength of 3, third one will retract. Same thing going for all of them. And if we get a signal strength of 10, the 0 will retract and put a 0 on the display, which I'm going to explain why that causes a lot of problems later on in this thing. So that's just how we select the numbers. But now how do we input the numbers from the panel into these number things? So that's just what this gray circuit does. It takes all the buttons and it shoves them through one singular line, and I'm not going to really explain how that part works, but basically every single number corresponds to their own signal strength. So the 1 button will give out a signal strength of 1, the 2 button will give a signal strength of 2, I got my numbers messed up. So yeah, so whatever the number is, it will give that signal strength, and that will go into this white circuit over here. Now we have a few things happening, but I'm gonna explain this long comparator chain first, and then this little piston over there. So basically the way we store this signal strength is that we have this little device over here. So this is it. It's just these 2 comparators, these 2 pieces of redstone, and these 2 blocks. It looks a lot like a pulse extender, except that one of the comparators is in subtract mode. So this is kind of like a shift register, but for signal strength. So that's actually pretty cool. So if we just go push this button and just push any of the buttons, let's just push number 1 and then head back out. So if we now look at that signal strength keeper memory thing. Press F3. If you look on the right side, on the third giant chunk of information, you'll see targeted block, redstone wire, all that stuff, and then you should see power, and it should say 1, and I forgot to take, you know what, there we go. Go away, night vision particles are annoying. So here we have a signal strength stored as 1. So how do we transfer this signal strength to the next one over and put a new number in here? So that is what this piston does. Basically, this piston will shift all of the signal strengths over on each cell, and then this comparator line will place a new one. So it has to shift all of them first and then put a new number in. So the way we do that is that we have a repeater going into this subtraction mode comparator over here, and if we just follow this, we have a comparator here, and that goes down into this comparator on subtract mode. So we activate this repeater and this repeater at the same time. So what that will basically do is it will shut off this comparator. This will completely deactivate, and then over here, this will let the signal that is here go through this comparator wire, which you can like barely see over there, and that comparator wire directly links into the next signal strength shift register module. So let's just put any number in the thing, and I have to clear the effect again. So right now we have a 1, right? I should probably get a map out. So yeah, right now we have a 1. Yeah, the corner's kind of cut out, but that doesn't matter right now. So we put in a 2. Let's just go back, clear my stupid night vision. Let me just actually load the rest of the map. There we go. So there we have a 12. So if we look at this first little signal strength module, and if we go at F3, now you'll see that the power level is 2. And if we go all the way to the second one, and we just pressed F3, you'll see that the power level is 1. So that is how we control the shift register movements. So now I'm gonna clear it, and I should probably explain the clear last, since it basically has to do with the entire system at the same time. So yeah. And again, clear my stupid night vision. So now what do we do with those two numbers? We have to somehow add them together. Well, that is what this blue circuit does. Ooh, so fancy. So basically this blue circuit is the white circuit, but there's only 2 modules. So let's just go back in. I should have probably not cleared it. That was a stupid idea. So let's just do 1 plus 1 just so I can make this go faster. So if we do 1, and we just let it load, and then we press the plus sign, as you can see, the number disappears, but it doesn't really disappear for the machine. So if we just push this red button again, and we go to this blue circuit here, you might see some comparators activating down there. And if we just look over down here, and somewhere, here we go. As you can see, there's another one of these little signal strength things, and it has a signal strength of 1. And that's going all the way into this, oh my god, don't fall, into this bottom input over here. So the 1 is being stored down here, and this is the adder, so I'll just explain that later. So the 1 is being stored down here, and then when we put in another number, the 1 is going to be moved up to here, and then a new value will be stored here. So let's just do 1 plus 2 just for simplicity's sake. So, come on. Let's get back in. So 1, and then plus a 2. So now we're going to have a 2 on the display, but it's not really saved onto the actual thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify this little equals button just so it doesn't actually equal it all together. So if I just push the equals button, we're not going to get a result of 3, but this 2 is going to be saved into the adder. So if we just go back and then clear my stupid particles again, and let me just, we'll activate that later. So now if we look over here, F3, we have a power level of 1 here and a power level of 2 there, and that is how we store our numbers. So now we have to add those numbers, and that is what this giant little comparator thing does. I'm not going to really explain how it works since it's pretty complicated. It's the most complicated part, but basically it just takes 1 plus 2, and it outputs a 3 over here. And then obviously it also carries, so if it's something more than 10, it'll output it on the second bit. Now you may also see this little funky circuit over here. You might be thinking, what the heck does that do? So if we just actually make the equal sign do the equal sign. So how the equal sign works, all it does is it saves the number, just like the plus sign and the minus sign, so it'll activate that piston and save the number. And then a long delay later, it'll activate all of these pistons, and it'll push a block downwards, and whatever signal strength is in this comparator over here, or this comparator, this is actually something different that I'll explain later, it will let the signal through and it will go into the display, so it goes straight into those white signal strength cells like I said earlier. So we push this down, I'll just break this, it all activates, and then we should get an answer of 3 if my redstone works properly. There we go. And you also might be thinking, why is there a bunch of zeros? Why is there like zeros in front of the 3? So, like I said earlier, the way the 0 works on the display is that it requires a signal strength of 10 to work. But the thing about this adder is that it outputs zeros as a signal strength of 0. So basically what this circuit does, it's kind of like a NOT gate. If the signal strength is 0, and if we just go here and press F3, it will give out a signal strength of 10. And that will just make it so it actually displays a 0. So that's only useful for things like if you have something like 300 or any zeros on the right side of the number. So on this thing, it will be just a 3 on the hundreds place, and then no redstone power, no redstone power. So we need some way to display the zeros. But how about the other way around? If we go over here, you may be thinking, how does a signal strength of 10 from this thing get over into this adder? Well, we have this little fancy weird piston. Oh my god, I'm falling again. This piston thing. So we have a repeater all the way at the end over here. Basically what that does is if we do have a signal strength of 10, it'll activate this line and it will push this piston block thing. It'll push it across, so then this piston can't actually push down and save that value of 10. It'll just save it as absolutely nothing, as 0. So then the adder can actually add, and then the adder will just turn that 0 back into a signal strength of 10. So it's kind of like a weird little recycling system. It's kind of funny. Okay, now we know how to add, but how do we subtract? Oh my god, how do we subtract? So now let's say we want to do 3 minus 2. I don't know. Something easy. So we do 3, we push the minus sign, it will save that number, but it will also do something different, which I'll explain later. So it saves the number 3 in, and then we put the number 2. And then I'm going to do the equal sign, and just saying, the funny thing about subtraction is that it's actually just addition. It's the exact same thing. So we press the equal sign, and then we should get an output of 1. So there we go, the 2 disappears, and boom, we get the number 1 as our answer. So that's basically subtraction, but you may be thinking, how the heck does subtraction work? Like, does it just adds? Like, how is that possible? I will show you. So we go out here, take off my stupid night vision as always, and we look at the subtraction circuit, which according to this board is just the red. And if we just look at the red, yeah, there's not much. This is a very confusing subtraction circuit. How the heck does this thing work? And I am looking at this, and never mind, I'm looking at this, everything's fine. I thought something went wrong for a second. But yeah, the subtraction is this red line. How does this red line do anything? Well, let's just do our example again, just so we can see what is happening in the redstone. So I don't know why I just cleared it, so let me just cut away and actually give the answer. So we're back out here with our output of 1, so let's just see how this thing works. So if we just look at the inputs we have an input of 3, and down here on the, oh my goodness, on the bottom side of the adder, we will see something pretty interesting. We have an output of 7. Now, why do we have an output of 7 over here and an output of 3 here? That doesn't really seem like it should work, but it does. So the reason we have an output of 3 and an output of 7 instead of 2 is that it will actually take the inverse number of 2 and be 7. So what I mean by inverse is that it will give out the number, so this output plus 2 should give 9. So 7 plus 2 equals 9. And it will actually add those values, and then we get a result. And if we just go over here, we get our 1 and our 0, 0, zeros. So it basically just adds a number, and yeah, it's kind of fun and weird and stuff. There's also another thing that it does. It kind of forces a carry over here, so it basically adds another 1. So if we just look at this, we have 3 plus 7, but that only gives out 10. So how is that possible that it gives an output of 1 and not 10? Well, that's why we have this cauldron over here. That basically simulates another one of these modules on the left adding a carry. So it will do that 10 plus another 1. So we get 11. But how come we have a 0 here? Well, if we just look over here, there's 0, there's 9. There's no real output of 1 because it just doesn't really exist. There's no output of 1 over here. It just gets inverted and fun things happen. So yeah, that's basically how we do it. We invert one of the numbers, we add another 1 over here, and boom, subtraction out of addition. That's so magical. So yeah, that's the most complicated part. Now let's go back to the easy bits, the resetting buttons. So beautiful. So I kind of already explained the equals button. All it does is that activates with this convenient sign here, this save number thing over here, and this equals sign, like this will push the blocks down, and there has to be a very long delay for reasons I actually still don't know. I think the reason is because all of these adders need to add before the value actually gets transferred to the displays, but I don't know, I just kind of added more delay and it just seemed to work, so yeah. But also, I kind of skipped over a thing. How does this switch from addition to subtraction? Simple. We just have these little pistons and this redstone block. So if this redstone line is activated, boom, addition. If it's deactivated, like it is right now, boom, subtraction. Isn't that so weird and funky? And wow, how is that possible? So the way we invert the signal is just this little circuit over here. And yeah, this little circuit inverts the signal. So over here, we have a signal strength of 9 with our packing peanuts. And that will basically go over here and just go over here. And it will basically subtract. So if we just have 9 over here, and we take the output here, so 9 minus 2, it goes over here, and boom, we get our number 7. And then once we deactivate it, well, once we activate this, so we activate addition mode, this torch will turn off, so therefore the signal will go through this comparator instead of the comparator over here. So this will be powered, so this will just always give out a signal strength of 0, so it will just go through this comparator instead of this subtraction module. So that is how the subtractor thing works. So that's a pretty interesting subtractor, but now let's go to the reset buttons, because that's kind of easy. So last but not least, we have the orange circuit. Oh, that was a pretty weird lag spike. We have the reset circuit, which is just the resets everything. So how the reset circuit works is it basically activates the save number module twice. And why it does it twice is, let's say you have a value in the first thing. If you activate it twice, it will go to the second module, and then it will go out. And if it's on the, and if both of them are full, they will both actually just be saved out of existence. And then just to make sure that they also don't get saved in this little thing over here, we have these pistons that retract it. So these pistons retract all of their blocks, which just takes away the save state of whatever was in here because it breaks the cycle. Let's see, what else does this also activate? And this also will activate this little white blue line thing here that all of the save thing does, because whenever you save a number, it makes the previous one disappear. So it also just activates that and makes all of the numbers disappear. Wow, isn't that fun? I'm pretty sure that is the entire calculator. This video is really long. I think it's definitely more than 20 minutes. This is actually my second attempt at this subtraction part because I messed up on the previous one. So yeah, world download of this on my Discord server pinned on the announcements channel. So yeah, I'll have the Discord server in the description. You know what else is also in the description? The showcase. Please watch it. I put way too much time into that. Please. So yeah, as always, thanks for watching. And you know, after this video, I'll make Pong, unless I made the Pong video before this video. I don't know. There's just a poll going up on my community tab, and I'm recording it before I do the Pong, the poll. So I don't really know which one wins. I might have to record a whole Pong video before this. That kind of sucks.